Good evening. I'm Norman Robinson, and welcome to Affordable Housing Matters. Tonight, we will be focusing on mortgages and the educational practices of mortgage lenders in our area. First, we will talk to the executive director of the NOLA Homes Project and find out how he and his organization aims to educate future homeowners. Later, we will meet with Bernadette Jelks of First NBC Bank, and she will tell us how she helps educate clients into making good financial decisions. We will also take a trip to the annual LMLA Education Conference to find out what our Louisiana lenders are learning. More Affordable Housing Matters when we return.
Saturdays at 4:30 p.m. on WLAE.
The NOLA Homes Project is a real estate education and investment company with a social cause called Project 5000. Here to tell us more about their organization and this social cause is Mr. Randy Chambliss, Executive Director of NOLA Home Projects. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. I'm humbled and honored to be on your show.
Oh, the honor is ours because this is something that's relatively new, and we were curious about what got it started and what brings you to this point.
Sure. And it's a great question. What got it started is the need in our community for one, affordable homes, but two, stopping the violence. There's no big secret that New Orleans and other urban communities all across America has violence and crime problem. So one of the solutions that we know is job opportunities and business opportunities. And that's why we actually started Project 5000.
And NOLA Homes 5000 fits into this how?
Sure. Well, NOLA Homes Project, like you mentioned, is an education company first and an investment company. The Project 5000 is a social cause that we are a community economic development strategy. That's what it is. Community economic development strategy that will create 5,000 safe, affordable, and high quality homes for individuals and families of all income levels. Now, we're solving two problems. One, the affordability of the homes, and two, the crime problem. Because every project that we pick up to renovate and put back on the market as a product takes about 5 to 10 skilled tradesmen, everyone from plumbers, electricians, carpenters, to real estate agents, mortgage brokers, appraisals. Everyone is able to eat off this one project that we did.
And you're talking about 5,000 homes being created over what span of time?
Absolutely. Our goal is 10 years, but the way we're moving, it may be a little sooner than that.
Really?
Yes.
And what's the reason for that? I mean, how do you get so lucky that you move ahead of schedule?
That's a good question. I don't think it's luck. I think it's just the cause, the initiative, the consciousness behind it, that we must do something. There's a need in the community right now that we have to stop the violence. And if we can kill two birds in one stone, then it's very relevant. What I mean by that is that with Project 5000, in order for us to reach the goal of having 5,000 first-time home buyers and our new investors, we must go into the community, inspire them, number one. Number two, educate them. 3, mentor them. And 4, provide them the resources they need, such as the capital, to buy the home, renovate it, and be able to live in it, or they're going to resell it as investors.
Well, that sounds like a tall order. Walk me through this process. How does one make that a reality?
Sure. Well, number one, what we're doing, we're going all around the city, and we're providing free community real estate investment classes. We had our first community meeting in New Orleans, right off of St. Bernard Avenue on August 30th. We had 80 individuals showed up, and out of that, we had over 25 people attending our first real estate investment class. So right now we have a group of students that's being mentored right now, a group of about 12 to 15 that we just went through our first 2 days in class deep study of how the nuts and bolts of real estate investing. We also went to a field training where we took them out in the field and evaluate properties hands-on so they can see. So now they're in the process going through their ongoing training. The idea behind that was we have to spread out the risk. And as we spread out the risk, we're going and educating new people how to invest in real estate successfully. There's 3 major reasons most people fail in real estate investing. Number 1, they buy the property wrong. Number 2, they cannot finish the project on time and in budget because sometimes a contractor, is not readily available. Or 3, they can't sell a home. So those 3 issues what shies a lot of people away from investing. But in our education classes, we solve those problems through our systems. And we teach our system, we show them what to do, and then now once they finish the class, they're here still connected with us as a member of our group so we can mentor them throughout the process.
So this whole project depends on the real estate investment aspect?
Yes. And so what we're able to do is we're finding properties that's off the market, meaning it's not listed with a real estate agent or on the MLS. We have a lot of issues that you know about, Mr. Robinson, that a lot of people are getting pushed out of certain neighborhoods. And as they get pushed out of these neighborhoods, the reason because the home is not being affordable. We went from a $100,000 home, now it's $400,000, $300,000, $500,000. The taxes is pushing them away. So a lot of people face foreclosure. So we're going in as an assistant, as an educator, saying, listen, let us help you in the foreclosure process. Most people are not aware of how that works, what the timelines are, so we go in and educate them, and if we can help them to save the home, we will. But if they need to sell quickly, then we have investors, because we're part of a large group of investors, and we continue to build that group. We have investors, and some of them have cash. We could go in, stop that foreclosure, get them out of their property, that way they save their credit, and then they can move on, and now we take them on the back end, and whatever credit issues they may have from being late on their mortgages, we work with them. So now in the next year or 2, we could get them back into another home.
So you're about the business of several things. 1, the real estate investor training.
Yes.
Right? And then you're teaching people the economic strategy of holding on to their property, how to deal with banks and mortgage companies.
Yes.
Okay. So which comes first?
Well, what comes first is depending on the motivation of that seller. If the motivation of the seller that, hey, the sheriff just knocked on my door and I'm going to foreclosure in 3 weeks, then we have to come in and save that property. Whether we negotiate with the bank, give them the education so they can make some type of arrangement, or if they must sell, then if the numbers make sense, then we can go and actually buy the property for them. Now, that solves their problem because now they can move out, they save their credit, and now in a few short months, close to a year, maybe a 2 years, it just depends, they can go and repurchase a home. At the same time, when we buy those houses, we actually have men working, whether they're ex-offenders, whether they're are unemployed or underemployed, we're putting them to work. Now we're starting to calm down the violence because we're creating jobs and sustaining jobs.
You said at the outset of the interview that you are ahead of schedule. Where are you exactly in the number of houses that you've been able to acquire and rehabilitate, and the number of people you've been able to, I guess, recruit for your project?
Sure, great question. So we just got started in February with the initiative. The company been around since 2011. The social call started in February. Currently, right now, we did our first 12 properties. In Chicago, it's a national initiative. Chicago is having the same issue with violence and affordability. So Chicago, we acquired our first 20 properties in Chicago. So that's why we are calling all hands on deck, because I appreciate you for allowing us to have this platform to speak to the community, because we're calling all hands on deck to help. So when you hear about our free real estate investment class that's coming up for the community, you may want to attend, because it does not matter whether you have a lot of cash with a credit score of 700, or you have little cash and a horrible credit score. There's still ways that you can still make money in real estate investing in that area. So we're calling all hands on deck to be able to spread the risk, get them the education, get them the mentoring, and on the back end, give them the resources, which is the capital. And at the end of the day, I tell everybody, listen, it's not about getting into real estate. It's about getting out of real estate.
Right.
So the end buyers, that we can have these houses affordable for the end buyers, we are having education classes lining up end buyers to make sure that we have the buyers ready to go.
Well, thank you for giving us a new way of looking at affordable housing.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chambliss. Right after this break, we take a trip to the Louisiana Mortgage Lenders Association 2016 Education Conference and get an inside look at what our local lenders are up to. Don't go far.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.